Okay, it's me, Tom, now. I'm going to do a reaction video of Jeff. Okay, so, anyway. Why do they always go with this song with Jeff? You know, I prefer this Jeff, because at least it's not too worse compared to the Bait Kruger dead Jeff, in my opinion. And to me, this one's more realistic. Not completely though, because of the weapons, but...
Capitol Hill to work out a compromise healthcare plan. He lost his voice after his State of the Union speech. A roof collapsed at a supermarket in Atlanta.
Ominous unknown killer still at large. After weeks of unexplained murders, the ominous unknown killer is still on the rise. After little evidence has been found, a young boy thinks that he survived one of the killer's attacks and bravely tells his story.
I had a bad dream, and I woke up in the middle of the night.
Says the boy.
I saw that for some reason the window was open, even though I remember it being closed before I went to bed. I got up and shut it once more. Afterwards, I simply crawled under my covers and tried to get back to sleep. That's when I had a strange feeling, like someone was watching me. I looked up and nearly jumped out of my bed. There, with a little ray of light illuminating from between my curtains, were a pair of two eyes. These weren't regular eyes. They were dark, ominous eyes. They were bordered in black and just plain out terrified me. That's when I saw his mouth. A long, horrendous smile that made every hair on my body stand up. The figure stood there, watching me. Finally, after what seemed like forever, he said it. A simple phrase, but said in a way only a madman could speak. He said,
Go to sleep.
I let out a scream. That's what sent him at me. He pulled up a knife, aiming it at my heart. He jumped on top of my bed. I fought back. I kicked, punched, rolled around, trying to get him off of me. That's when my dad busted in. The man threw the knife and it went into my dad's shoulder. The man probably would have finished him off if one of the neighbors hadn't alerted the police. They drove into the parking lot and ran towards the door. The man turned and ran down the hallway. I heard a smash, like glass breaking. As I came out of my room, I saw the window that was pointing towards the back of my house was broken. I looked out to see him vanish into the distance. I can tell you one thing, I will never forget that face. It was cold,
I'm starting to think, why would Jeff be scared of the police? Well, mainly because they have weapons, like better weapons compared to a knife.
Police are still on the lookout for this man. If you see anyone that fits the description in this story, please contact the local police department.
Jeff and his family had just moved into a new neighborhood. His dad had gotten a promotion at work, and they thought it would be best to move into one of those fancy neighborhoods. Jeff and his brother, Lou, couldn't complain though. I mean, they had a new, better house. What was not to love? As they were getting unpacked, one of their neighbors came by.
Hello,
She said,
I'm Barbara. I live across the street from you. Well, I just wanted to introduce myself and to introduce my son.
She turned around and called her son over.
Billy, these are our new neighbors.
Billy said hi and ran back to play in his yard. "Well," said Jeff's mom, "I'm Margaret, and this is my husband Peter and my 2 sons, Jeff and Lou." They each introduced themselves, and then Barbara invited them to her son's birthday. Jeff and his brother were about to object when their mother said they would love to. When Jeff and his family were done packing, Jeff went up to his mom. "Mom, why would you invite us to some kid's party? If you haven't noticed, I'm not some dumb kid." "Jeff," said his mother, "we just moved here. We should show that we want to spend time with our neighbors. Now we're going to the party."
You know, that's not always should happen.
Jeff started to talk.
Just because you're in new neighbours doesn't mean you have to be too nice.
He walked up to his room and plopped down on his bed. He sat there looking at the ceiling for what seemed like forever, when suddenly he got a weird feeling. Not so much pain, but a weird feeling. He dismissed it as a remnant of a dream, perhaps. He heard his mother calling him, and he left his room. The next day, Jeff walked downstairs for breakfast and got ready for school. As he sat there eating his cereal, he once again got that feeling. This time it was stronger. It gave him a slight tugging pain on his face, but he once again dismissed it. As he and Lou finished breakfast, they walked down to the bus stop. They sat there waiting for the bus when a kid on a skateboard jumped over them, only inches from their knees. They both started back in surprise. The kid landed and turned back to them. He kicked his skateboard up and caught it with his hands. The kid seemed to be about 12, 1 year younger than Jeff. He wore an Aeropostale shirt and ripped blue jeans.
Well, well, well. Looks like we got some new meat.
Suddenly, 2 other kids appeared. One was super skinny, and the other was huge.
Well, since you're new here, I'd like to introduce ourselves.
Jeff and Lou looked over to the skinny kid. He had a dopey face that you would expect a sidekick to have.
Over there is Keith, and he's Troy.
They looked over at the fat kid. This kid looked like he hadn't exercised since he was a baby.
And I am Randy,
said the
That's
first
weird.
kid.
Now, for all the kids in this neighborhood, there's a small price for bus fare, if you catch my drift.
Lou stood up, ready to punch the lights out of the kid's eyes, when one of his friends pulled a knife on him.
If someone did pull a knife on me, I would do the same.
But it seems
You know,
must
beat
do
up
this
someone
the
who,
hard way.
if they use a weapon
The
against
kid
me.
walked up to Lou and took his wallet out of his pocket.
I do feel the urge.
Jeff got
But not
a
completely,
feeling
but if someone pulled a knife at me, I will feel
It was
like fighting
truly
back.
strong, a burning sensation. He stood up.
But then again, I might
gestured him
lose
to sit
or...
down. Jeff ignored him and walked up to the kid. "Listen here, you little punk. Give my bro's wallet back, or else." Randy put the wallet in his pocket and pulled out his own knife.
Oh? And what will you do?
Well, if someone said that
Just
to
as
me,
he
I'd
finished the
strangle them.
sentence, Jeff popped the kid in the nose.
I wouldn't
As Randy
strangle
reached
them
for
till
his
they're dead.
face, Jeff
But
grabbed the kid
I'm more of a
wrist
brutal
and broke it.
fighter.
Randy screamed, and Jeff grabbed the knife from his hand. Troy and Keith.
You know what I mean? I
rushed
will
Jeff,
fight someone who
but
does
Jeff
use a knife
was
really
too
hard on
quick.
me.
He threw Randy to the ground. Keith lashed out at him, but Jeff ducked and stabbed him in the arm. Keith dropped his knife and fell to the ground, screaming. Troy rushed him too, but Jeff didn't even need the knife. He just punched him in the stomach. As he fell, Troy puked all over. Lou could do nothing but look at Jeff in amazement.
Jeff, how'd you...
That was all he said. They saw the bus coming and knew they'd be blamed for the whole thing, so they started running as fast as they could. As they ran,
Oh yeah, I sent another
and saw
pothole.
the bus driver rushing over to Randy and the others. As Jeff and Lou made it to school, they didn't dare tell what happened. All they did was sit and listen. Lou just thought of that as his brother beating up a few kids, but Jeff knew it was more. It was something scary. As he got that feeling, he felt how powerful it was. The urge to just hurt someone. He didn't like how it sounded, but he couldn't help feeling happy. He felt that strange feeling go away and stay away for the entire day of school. Even as he walked home due to the whole thing near the bus stop, and how he probably wouldn't be taking the bus anymore, he still felt happy. When he got home, his parents asked him how his day was, and he said in a somewhat ominous voice, "It was a wonderful day." Next morning, he heard a knock at the front door. He walked down to find 2 police officers at the door, his mother looking back at him.
Those policemen are corrupt.
"Jeff, these officers tell me that you attacked 3 boys.
Not really, because they pulled up a weapon.
And that they were stabbed. Stabbed, son."
Jeff didn't stab them.
Jeff's gaze fell to the floor, showing his mother that it was true.
I don't remember Jeff stabbing them. I know he was beating the ever-living stuff out of them with his hands.
"Son," said one of the cops.
But then again, Jeff shouldn't even use a weapon. What he should have done is beat him up with no weapon, and then it wouldn't seem like he'd done
"We have
it.
witnesses proving that you fled the scene." Jeff knew it was no use. He could say him and Lou had been attacked, but then there was no proof it was not them who attacked first.
Well, what they should have done is
He couldn't
throw away
say
the
that they weren't
knives.
fleeing,
Like,
because
if it was me, I'll throw away the knives in the bin and then
so
fly
Jeff
it.
couldn't defend himself or Lou. "Son, call down your brother." Jeff couldn't do it, since it had been him who beat up all the kids. "Sir, it was me. I was the one who beat up the kids. Lou tried to hold me back, but he couldn't stop me." The cop looked at his partner, and they both nodded. "Well, kid, looks like a year in juvie."
Wait!
You have to be a judge to do
They
that.
looked up to see him holding the knife.
These policemen are corrupt.
The
You have to be a
officers
judge
pulled
to
guns
do
and
that.
locked them on Lou.
It was me! I beat up those little punks! Have the marks to prove it!
He lifted up his sleeves to reveal cuts and bruises, as if he was in a struggle. "Son, just put the knife down," said the officer.
Okay, I think that's it now. Actually, no, I won't.
Held up the knife and dropped
I'll wait till it's a little bit longer and then do
He put
another
his
video of
hands
this
up
next
and
time.
walked over to the cops. "No, Lou, it was me. I did it." Tears ran down Jeff's face.
Ah, poor bro. Trying to take the blame for what I did. Well, take me away.
The police led Lou out to the patrol car. "Lou, tell them it was me. Tell them. I was the one who beat all those kids up." Jeff's mother...
The weird part is his parents are really stupid.
"Jeff, please. You don't have to lie. We know it's Lou."
Well, at least he cares about his brother. Ain't your mum's...
Jeff watched helplessly as the
Because
cop
ain't the family would be a little bit concerned they're going to be in prison.
A few minutes later,
Oh, well.
Jeff's dad pulled into the driveway.
I know he'd done something wrong, but at least the children are not dead. So why can't they just give them a warning?
"Son, what is it?" Jeff couldn't answer. His vocal cords were strained from crying. Instead, Jeff's mother walked his father inside to break the bad news to him, as Jeff wept in the driveway. After an hour or so, Jeff walked back into the house, seeing that his parents were both shocked, sad and disappointed.
His parents are not sad or shocked.
He could see how they thought of Lou, when it really was his fault. He just went to sleep, trying to get the whole thing off his mind. 2 days went by with no word from Lou at the JDC. no friends to hang out with, nothing but sadness and guilt. That was until Saturday, when Jeff woke up by his brother with a happy, sunshiny face. "Jeff, it's the day," she said as she opened up the curtains and let light flood into his room. "What? What's today?" asked Jeff as he stirred awake. "Why, it's Billy's party."
Oh, that's stupid.
Right? You don't expect me to go to some kid's party after...
His parents are idiots.
Jeff, we both know what happened. I think this party could be the thing that brightens up the past.
No, it doesn't.
Now get dressed. Jeff's mother...
You know, if your children been through sad trauma, what you should do is wait for them to cool off. Don't bring them to somewhere cheery and social.
And walked downstairs.
I rather not have to have children, but I'm just saying, the best way to treat a child while they're shocked and in trauma, don't do that. Don't bring them to places where other children could bully them.
"Son, is that all you're going to wear?" said Jeff's mom.
So what, you imbecile?
Better than wearing too much.
I'm starting to think his mum's an
His
imbecile.
mom pushed down the feeling to yell at him and hid it with a smile. "Now, Jeff, we may be overdressed, but this is how you go if you want to make an impression," said his
Oh, imbeciles.
Jeff grunted and went back up to his room.
I don't have any fancy clothes.
He yelled downstairs. "Just pick out something," called his mother. He looked around in his closet for what he would call fancy. He found a pair of black dress pants he had for special occasions and an undershirt.
I really wish Jeff was going to be 15 in most series.
He looked around,
Because it will make more sense.
Patterned shirts, none of which went with the dress pants. Finally, he found a white hoodie and put it on. "You're wearing that?" his parents both asked. His mother looked at her watch. "No time to change. Let's just go," she said as she herded Jeff and his father out the door. They crossed the street over to Barbara and Billy's house. They knocked on the door, and at it appeared Barbara, just like his parents, way overdressed. As they walked inside, all Jeff could see were adults, no kids.
The kids are out in the yard. Jeff, how about you go and meet some of them?
Said Barbara. Jeff walked
I'm
out to the
disappointed
full of
how
kids.
his parents are
Running around in
gullible.
Weird cowboy costumes and shooting each other with plastic guns. He might as well have been standing in a Toys R Us. Suddenly, a kid came up to him and handed him a toy gun and hat.
Hey, wanna play?
He said,
I'm depressed.
No, kid.
Not depressed, but what's the better word? I'm disappointed how they forget how old Jeff is. He's either 13.
Puppy dog face.
I prefer Jeff to either be 13 or
Said the
15.
kid. Fine, said Jeff. He put on the hat and started to pretend to shoot at the kids. At first he thought it was totally ridiculous, but then he started to actually have fun. It might not have been super cool, but it was the first time he had done something that took his mind off Lou. So he played with the kids for a while, until he heard a noise, a weird rolling noise. Then it hit him. Randy, Troy, and Keith all jumped over the fence on their skateboards. Jeff dropped the fake gun and ripped off the hat. Randy looked at Jeff with a burning hatred.
Hello. Jeff, is it?
He said.
We have some unfinished business.
Jeff saw his bruised nose. I think we're even.
I
I
agree.
beat the crap out of you, and you got my brother sent to JDC.
I agree.
He got an angry look in his eyes.
Oh no. I don't go for even. I go for winning. You may have kicked our asses that one day, but not today.
As he said
Oh.
that, Randy rushed.
You're gonna
Jeff.
get kicked ass again, or probably Jeff might go to
Randy
prison.
punched Jeff
But
in the nose
or
and
I've forgotten this whole story because I don't watch it. I don't remember watching this. I did watch it, but I don't fully watch this.
Kids were screaming, and parents were running out of the house. Troy and Keith both pulled guns out of
Oh, they had guns instead of knife. I really wish Jeff used a gun now.
They said. Randy pulled the knife on Jeff and stabbed it into his shoulder. Jeff screamed.
I don't think Jeff will win now, because guns would
kicking
be...
him in the face.
Unless if he's like Zombie the Studios Jeff, fast as bullets, or Becky Kruger Jeff, who could heal from bullets.
Jeff stood up and walked towards the back door. Troy grabbed him. Need some help? He picked Jeff up by the back of the collar and threw him through the patio door. As Jeff tried to stand, he was kicked down to the ground. Randy repeatedly started kicking Jeff until he coughed up blood.
Come on, Jeff. Fight me.
He picked Jeff up and threw him in
No, I'm
the
gonna
kitchen.
watch the whole thing.
At that moment, Randy saw a bottle of vodka on the counter and smashed it over Jeff's head.
Fight.
He threw Jeff back into the living room.
Come on, Jeff. Look at me.
Jeff glanced up, his face riddled with blood.
I was the one who got your brother sent to JDC, and now you're just gonna sit here and let him rot in there for a whole year. You should be ashamed.
Jeff started to get up.
Oh, finally. You stand and fight.
Jeff was on his feet, blood and vodka smearing his face. Once again, he got that strange feeling, the one he hadn't felt for a while.
Finally, he's up,
said Randy. He ran at Jeff. Something inside Jeff snapped. His psyche was destroyed. All rational thinking was gone. All he could do was kill. He grabbed Randy and drove him into the ground. He got on top of him, punching him straight in the heart. The hit caused Randy's heart to stop.
Oh,
As Randy gasped,
Jeff can punch really hard now.
Jeff hammered down on him. Blood gushed from Randy's body until he took one final breath and died. Everyone stared at Jeff. Then they pointed their guns at him. He looked up and saw the barrels trained on him and ran for the stairs. As he did, Troy and Keith opened fire, but both shots missed. Jeff ran up the stairs.
I guess Jeff is fast as bullets in this one a little bit. Wouldn't
As
say
they fired the
completely.
final rounds, Jeff ducked into the bathroom.
Yeah, he is fast as
He ripped the
bullets.
towel rack off the wall.
Unless if these kids are stupid at aiming, maybe that could be it.
Troy swung his knife at Jeff, who backed away and drew.
Okay, Jeff is not fast as bullets, they're the stupid at
Troy
aiming.
went down hard.
That's better.
The only one left was Keith. He was more agile than Troy and ducked when Jeff swung the towel rack again. He dropped the knife and grabbed Jeff by the neck, pushing him into the wall. A bottle of bleach fell down on top of him from the shelf. It burned both of them, and they screamed. Jeff wiped his eyes as best he could. He pulled back the towel rack and swung it straight at Keith's head. As Keith lay there, bleeding to death, an ominous smile crept across his lips. "What's so funny?" asked Jeff. Keith pulled out a lighter and struck it. "What's funny," he said, "is that you're covered in bleach and alcohol." Jeff's eyes widened as Keith threw the lighter at him. As soon as the flame made contact with him, the flames ignited the alcohol in the vodka. While the alcohol burned him, the bleach bleached his skin. Jeff let out a terrible screech as he caught fire. He tried to roll on the fire, but it was no use. The alcohol had made him a walking inferno. He ran down the hall and fell.
That makes sense how Jeff's skin might change
Everyone
colour a
started
bit.
screaming when they saw Jeff, now enveloped in flames. He dropped to the ground, nearly dead.
Wait.
The last thing Jeff saw was his mother and other parents trying to extinguish the merciless tongues of fire. he passed out. When Jeff woke, he had wrappings all around his face.
I really think his parents should help.
He felt a cast on his shoulder and stitches all over his body.
Good parents would try and help Jeff, but sadly his parents are
There was
useless.
an IV in his arm. When he tried to get up, it fell out, and a nurse rushed in.
I don't think you can get out of bed just yet.
She said as she reinserted the tube. Jeff sat there with no vision, no idea of his surroundings. Finally, after hours, he heard his mother. "Honey, are you okay?" she asked.
Well, you don't protect
Jeff couldn't answer.
your son,
His
so
face
yeah,
was
he's not
and he
okay.
was unable to speak.
You don't bother trying to protect his son from
I
children.
have great news.
What?
After all the witnesses told the police that Randy confessed of trying to attack you, they decided to let Lou go.
Wow, that's so surprising how stupid you are.
He'll be out by tomorrow.
I really think the policemen's are
We'll
corrupt,
be able to
because
be together again.
I'm gonna
Jeff's
laugh.
mom hugged him and said goodbye. For the next couple of weeks,
I think Jeff has more reasons to complain out his
bandages
parents.
were to be removed.
He will kill them, but I think complaining out them is equally as better.
And see how he had recovered. As the doctors unwrapped the bandages from his face, everyone held their breath. They waited until the last bandage fell away. "Let's hope for the best," said the doctor. He quickly pulled off the last cloth, letting the rest fall from Jeff's face. Jeff's mother screamed at what she saw. Lou and Jeff's dad stared, awestruck.
What happened to my face?"
Jeff said. He rushed out of bed and ran to the bathroom. He looked in the mirror and saw the cause of the distress. His face. It was horrible. His lips were burnt to a deep shade of red. His face had turned almost pure white, and his hair singed to black. He slowly put his hand to his face. The flesh had a sickening, leathery feel to it now. He looked back at his family, then at the mirror.
Jeff,
Said Lou.
it's not that bad.
Well,
That bad, said Jeff. It.
is he laughing?
It's perfect.
Oh,
His family.
so he
began
likes
to
it.
weep,
That's good.
But Jeff started laughing, chuckling uncontrollably. His parents suddenly noticed that his left eye and hand were twitching.
"Jeff, are you okay?"
Okay. I've never felt more happy.
I don't blame him for killing his parents, but not Lou. Lou doesn't have much motivation.
Look at me.
I mean, there's no motivation to kill Lou.
Goes perfectly with me. He couldn't stop laughing. He stroked his face, feeling it, gazing back at his new reflection in the grungy mirror.
"Doctor,
Said Jeff's mom.
is my son all right? You know, in his mind."
Oh, yes. This behavior is typical for patients that have taken very large amounts of painkillers. If his behavior doesn't change in a few weeks, bring him back here, and we'll put him through a psychological test.
"Oh, thank you, doctor."
I wouldn't say that's
Jeff's
much.
mother went over to him.
"Jeff, sweetie, it's time to go."
Jeff looked away from the mirror, his face still warped with a crazy smile. Okay, Mommy.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I
His
guess.
mother took him by the shoulder and took him to get his clothes,
This is what came in.
said the lady at the desk. Jeff's mom looked down to see the black dress pants and white hoodie her son wore. Now they were clean of the blood and stitched together. Jeff's mother led him to his room and made him put his clothes on. Then they returned home.
I'm actually curious, is Jeff's whole body pale white? I actually wonder.
It sounded as if someone was crying. She slowly went downstairs to see what it was. When she looked into the bathroom, she saw a horrendous sight. Jeff had taken a knife from the kitchen and carved a smile into his cheeks.
Jeff, what are you doing?
His mother cried. Jeff slowly glanced over at her. I couldn't keep from smiling, Mommy. It hurt after a while. But now, I don't have to try to smile. See? It's carved on my face. Now, I can smile forever. Jeff's mother noticed his eyes, ringed in black.
Jeff, your eyes.
His eyes seemed incapable of closing. I couldn't see my face. I got tired, and my eyes started to close. I burned out the eyelids, so I could always see myself. My new face. Jeff's mother slowly started to back away. What's wrong, Mommy?
I like this Jeff because it's more realistic in my opinion.
Yes, son.
She said.
This is more realistic
Yes.
story.
Yes, you are. Let me go get Daddy so he can see your new face.
She ran into the room and shook Jeff's dad from his sleep.
Honey, come quickly.
She stopped as she saw a shadow darken the doorway. The shape of a knife appeared next to the figure's shadow on the floor. Mommy, you lied. Jeff rushed at them. His brother Lou woke up, startled by
Are they
sounds.
really about to kill Jeff
He
or
didn't
not?
hear anything
I can't
else,
tell.
so he
Because
just
originally,
shut his eyes
Jeff's parents were about to
back
kill
to sleep.
Jeff.
As he was on the bleak edge of slumber, he got the strangest feeling that someone was watching him. He looked up just before Jeff's hand covered his mouth. Jeff slowly raised the knife above his brother's head. Lou thrashed, trying to escape Jeff's grip. Shh, Jeff said, just go to sleep.
Okay, so far that's good. Okay, that's it.